Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
So, welcome boys. We are now coming to the last module of our discussion. In our discussion on the bulk solid handling and transportation, we have discussed that different type of bulk materials, different type of your industry, different operations that is involved in handling this bulk material, crushing, screening, and then we have discussed different mode of transportation, whether it is by truck or locomotive or by trolley wear system or by pneumatically or hydraulically. We have introduced number of concepts which are used in bulk solid handling and transportations. Now, coming to the conclusive chapter on this learning process, and you are more or less, if you have spent time on each and every module, you are now ready for serving the industry in that sector. But for that, what is most important in working in industry is safety, maintenance and monitoring, and we will be discussing in this lesson, this module, the safety, maintenance and monitoring, along with some of the latest development which has come in automation, that we will be concluding in the last lesson. Now, today we will be discussing the safety aspects in bulk solid handling and transportation. Now, safety means what? And safety is, that is our, without any disruptions when we can work, the disruption should not be there in the machine, disruption should not be there in the persons who are working with the system, or disruption should not be there in the services rendered. So, and that is why, and this exactly get disturbed whenever in our common language we say, whenever any accident takes place in the industry, in your operations. Now, these disruptions by accident, what is this, and then how our safety get affected, that will be discussed. So, that after this discussion you should be able to define what is meant by accident, identify the causes and effects of different types of accidents, and describe the approaches of safety management in bulk material handling and transportation. So, in that, this is a vast area, each and every type of operations they have got depending on the technology deployed, the arrangements to manage the safety will be different. However, there are some basic concepts that we will be discussing today. Why? You can see in this figure that when you are working in a mines, there sometimes your that whole high wall may collapse, and you can see in this figure a truck is below this whole debris, it has got buried. There is cases, many places a dump truck has got totally burnt out, and you can see a conveyor belt, they got caught under fire. So, such type of things are, though it is not a common nowadays, it can be controlled by proper engineering. So, but thing is that all the technology of bulk material handling, what you have studied so far, they can lead to an accident or a breaking of safety if you are not following certain norms in while delivering the services. So, safety engineering and management in bulk solid handling and transportations, they have got number of things they aims at your accident prevention. That means whatever the disruptions we have just said that it should not be there. So, accident prevention is the first thing that when you want to engineer safety in a particular operation, and then it will have to be reducing the risk associated with the human error. Many times you know that while going by the roadside you might be seeing number of accidents taking place, that many a time the persons they do some mistake, as a result the accident take place. So, that our engineering safety or safety engineering, that will be reducing this risk. That means you will not commit error. For that sufficient warning and sufficient whatever the work you will be doing in the industry, it should have a proper indications, and the operators and workers will have to be properly trained and given proper instructions, so that they do not commit those errors that may lead to accidents. Deriving safety benefits from engineered system and designs. So, the safety engineering or safety management in your process, it will have to, you will have to arrange your system in such a way that you can get the benefit of safety. Now, to achieve all these objectives of safety management, you will have to introduce safety engineering as a process to design workplace to prevent accidents. Now, workplaces wherever the machines will be working, and then where you have made the site, that is your workplace, and there you will have to design. That means designing of a workplace means which machines will be located where, and then which machines will be performed by what level, which is linked with the other machines, and then in what are the precautions to be taken by there where it has been properly displayed. That is the way how you will be designing the workplace, and apply safety concepts through appropriate engineering to provide detailed approaches and modes of actions for accident reduction. That is a statement which says that exactly this apply safety concepts. That is what the safety concept means. They find out that how and under what actions of persons an accident can take place. Now, that may be many things, that if a person he is taking a job where he does not know that what may happen, without knowing, if he put his hand over there, accident may take place. So, that what are those concepts, safety concepts, they identify that what type of operations may lead to a safety failure or accident take place. So, for example, the persons may be having a tendency to walking that is your walking by the side of a bridge where there is no railings. Definitely that safety brake is here too. One is, if a bridge is there, there could be a big fall. For that there should be a barrier for protection. If the barrier is not given, that means that work site is not providing the necessary safety provisions. And if the person is walking without a safety belt, if he is going to the edge of the bridge, that where he may fall down, that is also, that means he is violating the safety concept. So, those type of things you will have to learn. Then integrate risk management process in operation, maintenance and monitoring. Now, this risk management, that means the risk, you understand that there is the probability of failure, that is how risk. Statistically you can determine that what will be the risk at a particular workplace, and once you find out that there is a risk, then you can, if it is because of the design of the machine there is a risk, then you can design it out. That means, if that your a dump truck, it is to sometimes you may have to keep it standing on a slope, Now, if you put it standing on a slope, then it may by itself weight, it may skid and rolling down, and then uncontrolled way it may cause an accident. But for that, that means it can be made a system design out, means if it is there on a this inclined roadway, that intelligent system can be there that automatically a parking brake will be applied. That means if you are parking a very heavy truck on an inclined surface, because of its own weight it may slide down. So, there the system should be designed out, the risk will be if it is standing over there, if it is not riding, or if the equipment, if the machine understands that the operator is not on the steering, that means it is unattended, at that time automatically the parking brake will be placed, so that the people the truck will not be sliding down. Many a times this accidents takes place, that sometimes you might have seen in places in a hilly towns, a common accidents take place. That is, if you are parking your car while going up in your house, and there at the back side you keep a peg over there, and sometimes the driver, when he removes the peg and wants to go to his steering position, by that time the car rolls back and go to the road, and at that time you need bus coming over there, they get hit up. Such type of accidents were common. If you go to Shillong and the places, you may find such type of accidents that take place. So, design out is a, if you find out that there is a potential hazard of a particular system in a particular work site, you will have to make this observations and then design out by applying your engineering knowledge, and implement safety engineering and management to develop intrinsically safe equipment. Your equipment will be intrinsically safe, means it has been designed in such a way that its all system, processes, facilities are safe. Say one intrinsically safe example is, say in underground mine we have said that if there is a fire dump, methane and air mixture is there, and if it at a particular ratio, if you switch on, then at the time of switching, whatever the small spark is there, that is sufficient to ignite that and cause an explosion. So, that will have to be done, all the switching circuit will be done in such a way that there will not be any spark generated. So, that means that circuit is intrinsically safe. So, similar type of things are there. Then let us now try to define what is accident. So, accident is unintentionally caused negative effects at work, workplace or occupation. That means, if nobody exactly intentionally create an accident. So, that is why accident is an unintentionally caused and its negative event, because there is no positive outcome comes out of accident. So, a work accident or workplace accident, occupational accident or accident and work, there are many different type of accident could be there, and these are a discrete occurrence in a course of work. When the work is going on, at that time something suddenly it happens and it leads to a physical or mental occupational injury. There could be in a certain workplace, if it all the time giving a lot of vibrations on your head, you may get a little bit of angry, your nature could be a different type. So, that in a occupational site, in a very noisy railway stations, if a persons are doing some very business where he gets irritated all the time, then his nature becomes like that, he will be very irritated with a very little provocation. Because of that, you may find in many places the noisy, very unhealthy working places, when a busy people that working in a very hard labor, they get very easily excited and they got started quarreling, which can be observed in many places. Then unplanned and uncontrolled events that cause physical harm to workers on the job. So, there could be accident because of unplanned and uncontrolled event. Normally, in a controlled event, when something going wrong, you can easily stop it. So, if it becomes an uncontrolled, then it will be causing your physical harm. So, basically accidents are those incidents that is which has resulted in the physical harm to the workers or which has caused damage to the property or machines. So, that is an accident, and once you know this accident, you can easily find out that what types of accidents are there in our bulk material handling. Now, there will be different types of accidents could be there. The first is your over exertion, that is over exertion type is when you are exactly the surpassing or superseding your normal capacity. At that time a over exertion accident may take place. So, for example, you know that while you are lifting a big bag of cement, that a person, he has got his physical limitations, he knows that he cannot lift, but at that time also by bending, if he starts taking up over that load, he may create a that is injury to his back. So, like that, because of some over exertion, you may get sprains, you may get strains, you may get dislocated, your arm may get twisted, and those type of things are there. In the machines also, if you are a particular rope, it can lift only say up to 500 kg. If you put there 700 kg and want to do it, that rope will get broken and then everything will fall down. So, that is over exertion. Other type is a falling. Falling is a very common accident, that is exactly you may find in the industry some persons falling from a stairs, falling from a baranda, falling from this, or getting then slips and trips is also, because there are many slippery surface may be there, your oil is splitting on the floor with your shoe when you are working, that there you may slip and fall. So, then the falling objects, many times when you are handling the bulk material, there will be boulders and all, particularly in a mine, you may find that is your the object is falling from the that is your from the high wall, it may hit, if you hit the machine may break, or if you hit a person will get bodily injury, or sometimes it can become fatal also. Sometimes that is your the falling object may be just like a flying rock, because when you are doing your blasting for the producing those bulk material in a mines, at that time that if the blasting is not properly designed, then there could be stones which are going and thrown and can hit. So, then there is a repetitive motion, sometimes there is a vibrations, they are also capable of causing harm. You know that there is called your whole body vibration. If you are driving a very heavy truck, say 270 tonner truck, and your road is undulating, at that time when the driver will be moving and then his the seat on his sitting, it will be giving a vibrations. Now, that upward vibrations, you can think of that whole weight of the truck, that is exactly giving an upward vibration, means his momentum, and by that his backbone, it may get all the time a repetitive vibrations, by which he may get a permanent back injury. So, that type of things are also accident. So, this type of accidents in the bulk material could be even being stuck by a colliding with an object, that is your the head on collisions. It is often a case that sometimes what happens, when you are having a very high truck, and then from there you are having the side windows, from the windows you cannot see it, you cannot see the things, because that there is a vision. So, there is a blind area. In that blind area, if something comes over there, it may hit and you cannot know. Similarly, if you are not having a CCTV, then such a heavy truck, when it will be going backward, if any car or any object is lying over there, it will be hitting over there, and then they will be, this collision will lead to an accident. Then there could be this twisting, turning, bending, lifting, and other this type of accidents are also there. Road traffic accidents are very common, and other type of accidents is your electrical accidents. the electrical accidents can lead to electrical shock, electrical burn and electrical fire may take place. In the figure you can see that this is a very this has taken place in number of places. You are having the overhead lines, and then suddenly if the operator is not aware of, and then he just raise his dump body of the dump truck, and then dump truck hits that wire and get electrocuted. Number of fatal accidents have taken place. Here in this particular thing which happened at Kentucky, it is this the truck is burning, and after burn you can see the burn truck how it happens. So, you can see that this type of lot of case studies of accidents in bulk material handling are there. Now, when an accident takes place, sometimes it may become fatal, sometimes it may lead to a lot of your property damage and property destructions. You may get a big financial financial loss because of this, but other than that, the persons even in small accidents they can have a severe bodily injury. He may lose his limb, or sometimes he may break and he may get hospitalized for this months because of the after the accident. But the some common accidents like your getting strains, sprains, cut, that punctures or wounds, and this some bruises taking place, inflammation and the fractures, some sickness may get induced because of this, some skin disease and chemical like that. In because in the bulk material you may be handling sometimes toxic material, sometimes some your that is a with different type of fine particles which may be inhaled, by that you may be damaging your lungs. So, there are many places where your certain accidents can take place. Now, there are many case studies are there, you can find out the few things to know that you have now learned a crusher, screen and then conveyor belt. These are very much there in any beneficiation plant or the coal washing plant. Here some example of how a person get injured. In a crushing plant, operator tried to nip some rock, that is rock is getting stuck and was not passing through the crusher jaw. You know a jaw crushers you have studied, there is a fixed jaw plate and the other jaw plate is making like that, with the toggle it is moving. Now, he found that this one rock boulder it is not passing through that, and then he used a bucket tooth attached to a chain, and then at the end he has done, and by hammering it, with that he was trying to break this jaw to by gripping that rock. Now, the bucket tooth by which he was breaking that rock and trying to push that through the jaw crusher, it got jammed, and when it was jamming, then he when he was trying to pull, because of the force he just fell down into the jaw crusher. And you can imagine that when he is falling into the jaw crusher is operating, he's got almost he got crushed, his leg and all, he got multiple injury and he died. This happened in USA. Similarly, another case happened, one operator he decided to clear a blockage in a crusher using a long crowbar, you know that crowbar by which he was having a longer arm, and then he did not, he thought that because if you stop the crushers to that rock which is getting blocked, for that he thought it is very easy, you will just put the rock crowbar and that lift the rock, it will be broken and then things will be there. If the stop means 10 minutes, then it will restart and all the productivity will be lost, and then his boss will be scolding him. He thought that okay, he will make the crusher running with that. Then the crowbar was struck into the crusher jaw and then forcing the bar against the operator's neck, killing him instantly, because it was there. Then when he started putting, it got cut. And this another example I can tell you, this happened in when I was working in Naval Lignite Corporation, a conveyor belt which was to be that you know that shiftable belt conveyor, after the shifting it need to be aligned. For aligning, the conveyor belt is just held by a pipe layer and on a hook, and then the senior foreman he just watch that whether the alignment is proper or not. So, that what happened on that unfaithful day, when this crane hook, it was lifting the conveyor belt, he was looking to that alignment. At that time, from that hook, the wear rope, it fell down, and that whole steel cord belt, it hit his neck. He could just see like that, and he died. So, that means in a bulk material handling, you need to be careful. That is the first thing. In the first two examples, he is not supposed to lift the this rock like that. In this case, he is not supposed to be under that unsecured conveyor belt. That accident takes place. A crusher operator was trying to remove a buildup of dirt around a conveyor drum using short piece of steel. The plant was operating, and the steel became caught and drawing the operator's arm into drum, causing significant injury to arm. So, that means in a quarry this type of accidents take place. So, what is your learning activity? Please prepare a report on accidents during last 5 years in the bulk material handling sector in the world using public domain accident reports. That you make a you just collect few this accident and see that how the accident reports are written. There you will be learning what is the technology involved. If you do not know that what is the engineering of the equipment, how it functions, if you have not studied that, then it may lead to that accident. So, while doing this exercise, you will be understanding why we need to know the core engineering and how the things work. So, there are many accidents that reports are there. You can see that is your in case of bulk material handling and transportations. So, this is another learning outcome testing for you. Write a techno art script for a skit or a documentary film for enhancing safety awareness to inculcate safety culture. Organize a one-act play competition to enact such scripts on stage. Now, these particular things, if any one of you are having any artistic quality or dramatic experience, try to write down that this type of accidents which I have narrated here, you can collect such type of small story of what accident have taken place, and then try to give a artistic outlook. You can give a dance and drama, or with a simple drama, educative videos, educative scripts you can prepare. This could be also it can make you rich if you can do it professionally. So, these are the some of the things that after learning this safety, and after learning the technology, and after learning this safety aspects of the operations, you can do it. So, what is the recommendation here? Learn and perform a hazard assessment prior to beginning work to be aware of the hazards and the immediate work area. How the hazard assessment is to be done? There are procedures, and if you just make a chart, and these are not very difficult things. The first important thing is to know the engineering of it, and after that how it is managed, you will have to read and learn and do it. Then there is a install adequate alarm for potential dangers. Now, where the danger is, you will have to innovate, design and implement. As I said, that if there is a truck, and from the truck there is a blind zone. So, you can easily find out, you can think of a small experiment, that is you and your friend that can be putting your light and up to what distance you can see around a car. You can make a mapping, you can survey the illumination level or the visibility level. Then from a truck, if you know that this is the region where the truck cannot see, then you can put some signal, that is if anything comes over there, how the operator will be getting a warning. Such type of innovative appliances are coming up by many startups these days. So, while working on a site, maintain a safe working distance from high voltage lines. So, that means how that you have seen that photograph, that dumper operator got killed because of the electrocution, but if there were a system that whenever it is coming near to the wire, that there will be a warning coming, and then he cannot lift, that the hydraulically lifted that your body, that will get released and that it will never go up. So, like that protective systems can be developed. So, there are many issues like that. There are dangers with conveyor belts. Conveyor belt can be a source of this lot of accidents. As I said, that one accident of naval lignite. Similarly, when a conveyor belt will be started moving, if you just stop it suddenly, at that time it is exactly all its energy does not get released. So, that, and also when it is running at a speed of 1.5 meter, at that time it has got, that is, if you get stuck your hand over there, there is, you will not having a response time to come out of it, because by that time you will be pulled back. So, that is why you should be very careful. Even these are the things that you should not cross a conveyor belt. That is, if you are, this is the return belt of the conveyor, this fellow is trying to go to the other side, because otherwise you will have to walk a 1 kilometer. But at that time, if he feels that it is running very slowly, so he can go and cross over there. Many persons, many workers does this type of mistake, and they lose sometimes bodily injury, and sometimes they lose their life also. So, you can prevent this conveyor belt hazards by different methods. So, that some rule is never touch a conveyor belt, render the moving components like idler, driver, that is your drive shaft, coupling, all these things, so that there should be, wherever the moving part is there, you should have proper guards. We discussed in our conveyor belt discussions also, and you ensure that the guards are adequately constructed. It is not just like a, if you come and you are leaning onto the guard, and then along with the guard you fell down into the moving part, will be dangerous. So, it should be properly designed, engineering things should be adequately done, and you should have a lot of this, wherever it is an anti rollback devices, your all the safety guidelines given by the manufacturer will have to be followed. So, there are many issues which you can follow these things. I will be giving you all these informations in your module part, which I have already given you the passwords. Go through it, and this will be giving you a idea that in your bulk material handling, what type of different locations where the hazards can take place, and then what you must do for your safety purposes. So, in all conveyor belt, there are pull cord switch along the conveyor, there are stop buttons, there are backstops, there are startup warning system, there are lockout devices, there are guards, and you must check when you are working with such a systems. Try to find out the literature, what are the safety devices there, how they are operated, how they are maintained, because if you do not maintain, there will be problem, and your objective should be aiming at zero accident, and there is the management task. You will have to manage safety in such a way that you first take to identify, that is your at the lower level, your at risk behavior. If the behavior is risky, then there will be near misses, and there will be recordable injury and loss of work day causes, and then will be fatality. So, you will have to do at the same time, that is, if you know that zero unsafe acts will lead to your zero medical treatment injury, that will lead to your zero fatalities, will lead to a zero injury workplace. So, that means certain things you will have to develop the behavior and culture, that safety culture. If it is not there, you will not be able to zero accident things like that. That is why whenever you join in an industry, try to see that how your safety works are maintained, and you need to find out that safety maturity of the company, your safety performance indicators, that will be your industrial accident, industrial injury, lost time injury, fatal injury, severity rate, frequency rate, lost time injury frequency. These are statistically collected, and over the time how it has taken, and you can find out whether your particular area is your safety maturity is achieving or not. So, there exactly the terminology is hazard auditing, just like a safety auditing. You need to investigate the quantity, quantify that what are the hazards, and then you can come up to a that is your safe operation. So, many of the reasons you can find that hazards may come if you are having a more very confined place to work, if you are not having a proper tools, if you are not having proper illumination, if you are not having proper ventilation, if there is an electrical things are unsafely kept, if the falling objects can come without any restrictions. So, like that you identify depending on your situations, and you will have to make the safety management by eliminating, substituting engineering, administrative and wearing personal protective equipment. And for that you will have to identify risk, you will have to assess the risk, you will have to control the hazards, and you will have to check the control work. That is the safe thing, and safety will be achieved. But in the mines or in the material handling system, you always remember wherever you are working, safety is everyone's responsibility and it is a team effort. Then the competition may be there in your student life, but once you are there in the field, you will have to work as a team, and that safety is achieved through a teamwork only. So, there are number of references on this subject, is a very vast. You can do a lot of work on it, you can do a lot of your academic work also, applying how to apply statistics and all. Safety engineering itself is a subject, but here I have just told you to have a general idea, because now you will be ready for going to the industry to work as an engineer, that whatever engineering and the technology you have learned will have to be applied by considering the safety aspects. So, safety at workplace in bulk material handling and transportation is always a management challenging, and technological audit to identify potential hazard in a system and innovating adequate means of monitoring, measuring and sustaining safe operational conditions require proper analysis of the work, and there you will be applying your knowledge of the subject, so that you can design out all the safety problems and you can manage the things without any accident, without creating any problem. A uninterrupted, undisrupted service to the industry can be provided while handling your bulk material and transporting. Thank you.